When I first started this journey, I had no real idea where it was going to lead. I knew that I wanted to leave my day job. That's the reason why I wanted to become an entrepreneur. I wanted the opportunity to really live my life, and I didn't want it to be dictated to by a job. I didn't want to be, dictated to in terms of what time I wake up in the morning. I didn't want to be told that I'm not able to go on holiday because there's not enough, notice. I'm not given enough notice, or there's more people off in the office, so that then means that I can't have my holiday authorized. I also wanted to be more in control of, the amount of money that I'm able to make. So entrepreneurship was really appealing to me, really appealing. So I jumped on board with the intention of, I just want to leave the day job. So if I can leave the day job as quickly as humanly possible, then this is the answer to all of my problems. Yeah, this is it. This is everything. Yeah. So that's exactly what I started working towards. So I remember being in the office and having all of these different ideas that I wanted to do, network marketing and multi-level marketing, and just make a living on the internet so that I could be wherever I wanted to be and still be able to make money. So I would go into the office and, I'd talk to some of my staff because I was always management, and I would talk to some of my staff about some of my plans and what I want to do, this network marketing thing, this multi-level marketing and all this type of stuff. And everyone's like, oh, so you think this is going to work, Jay? Yeah, you think you're going to leave your day job? You think this is really going to work? And I was like, yeah, I really genuinely do. And then, and then I got some mentors on board, because I was trying for quite a long time and I was really struggling. And I decided to get some mentors on board to help me. And, I was paying a decent amount of money for, to have mentorship. And some of the people in the office, in particular, I remember one person saying to me, so you're paying for a mentor. How much is it costing you? And I told them, and they said, what? How much? So you're paying all that money and you think you're going to be able to leave your day job? You think this is going to work? And they were laughing at me. I remember she's like, oh, look, Shirley, look, come over here. This idiot thinks that he's going to pay a mentor and that mentor is going to help him to become rich. Yeah, that's what they were saying. And I was like, well, look, you'll see. And they're like, look, you want to be giving me that money because you're getting ripped off because you're such an idiot. One thing that I really learned in a big way is that when I looked around, and that's what people were saying, and I looked at them and I thought, well, what's your life like? And I'm like, well, you know what? I don't want my life to be like yours. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with your life at all, but I don't want my life to be like yours. So as a result of that, I'm going to do the opposite of what you would do so that I get the opposite results for my life than what you would get for yours. So, of course, I continued with my mentorship. And then within 6 months, I was able to leave my day job and start having a lot more success. And when I handed in my notice, this was some of the best times of my life. Like, I've had a daughter. That was pretty great. I've had some great experiences, However, this was also a fantastic experience. Giving my notice in and saying I am leaving on the 11th of January 2013. That was it. And then all of those people that were laughing at me, do you know what they then said? Jay, you're so lucky. Luck? Are you serious? 6 months ago, you were saying that I'm getting ripped off. So that just cemented it even more that, I want to be around the right type of people that are really, changing the world, changing lives, really doing stuff. So leaving the day job was absolutely huge. And, like I say, I've never looked back ever. So what I did to actually leave the day job was, I got started in affiliate marketing, okay? And I was doing things based around dating. So I was doing like senior dating, interracial dating, the Asian dating, older women, younger men dating, yeah, even casual dating, yeah, like all these different dating little websites that I was getting affiliate commissions from. And what I would do is I would create content and for for YouTube and other social media platforms. And what it was like a little quirky little animation. So I was creating little animations about a guy his name was Eddie, right? And Eddie was able to, get a date and all this type of thing. And it's a little animation. I used some software called Go Animate. I can't remember what they're called now. They've changed their name, but it was called Go Animate at the time. And it was just like a templated software where you can have the template and then you just put the voiceover to it. And it was like a little electronic voiceover. So it sounded quite funny and it was very quirky. And I'd put all of those videos, I'd create loads of videos. Eddie's adventures. Eddie, he wanted to date an Asian lady or wanted to date or a black lady or whatever. And it was a quirky little funny animation. And it used to get loads of views all over social media. When I first started doing this and I started putting out content and, literally within the same day, you've got, lots of engagement. I couldn't believe it because I still had the day job. I was just trying. And then I started making commissions. And again, I couldn't believe it. Yes, I was following mentorship. So it's like, well, I'm being given some direction, but you still have to use your own initiative, right? So I still had to use my own initiative. But all of these little videos were getting some traction and it was driving some a very decent amount of traffic, to these dating affiliate links. I started making money and then more money. I think the first week when I really got serious with all of this, I think I'd made about, $124, dollars, yeah? And I was like, no way. I've just made $124. This is amazing. So if you can imagine, when you first get started making money on the internet, somebody from around the world somewhere has done the required action of what it is that you want them to do. So when you then, do that and you get some success from it and it now starts paying, it's like, this is like, I've just hit the lottery. I could have made, 10 million. That's how exciting it was. And then it was 124 the first, then about a week or two later, I checked the account. I'd made about another 270 odd pounds. Then 2 or 3 weeks later, I'd made about 600. So it jumped up. And then I'd made about just over 1,000. And then it was like 2,000. Then it was 2.5. Then it was 3. Then it was 4. And like I say, look, I couldn't believe it, and that was what I used to leave the day job. It was a great way of making money at the time. Look, YouTube has clamped down a lot now. So, they started suspending all of my accounts because I don't know, maybe some of the content of what I was doing, it was just maybe towing it a little bit too close to the line. Even though it was only little quirky animations. But for whilst it lasted, it was amazing. Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I did £94,000. So those of you in the US, if you're watching this, it's about $130,000. Maybe a little bit more than that. Within my first year of doing this, $94,000. Or £94,000, should I say? I couldn't believe it. So I was able to leave the day job and start really living my life. I also created a digital marketing agency because I was a bit concerned that, yeah, it's going really well. However, if, YouTube or Google, pulled the plug on my content, then that would be it. And if I haven't got the day job, I haven't got anything. And now, that's it. So I also created a digital marketing agency. So the video marketing techniques that I was using for affiliate marketing, the video stuff, I would then get clients on board and do the same sort of thing for them, for their brand, obviously not using the same sort of animations, but driving traffic. And again, that worked really, really, really well. Again, things started going really well. I did about £218,000 when I created my digital marketing agency, £218,000 within, 16 months, so I had the affiliate income coming in. I had my digital marketing agency income coming in. And I'm like, yeah, I've got this money coming in, I'm doing what, 20, 30 or £1,000 a month. Well, I can't believe it. Let's go and have some fun. So, leasing some Lamborghinis and some, Porsches and all this type of stuff, going on holiday all around the world, eating in the nicest restaurants, really, really, really having a good time. The boy's done good, right? Coming from where I came from, so initially coming from, like a council estate, where I grew up with my mum and my sister. Um, my mum was a single parent, so it was quite a struggle for her. She did the best possible job that she could, but it was quite a struggle. My dad, I'd left when I was quite young, although would maybe come in and out of my life when I was young. So coming from that environment, the estate of where we lived, it was very rough. There was lots of people there that wasn't very pleasant. So you would have graffiti all over your house, sometimes even on your wall, of my house or on the fence, people leaving graffiti. My mum's car used to get broken into on a regular basis. So that was the environment. So coming from that to doing really, 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 really well, was amazing. But that was just a bit of a taster, to be honest with you. It was a taster of what is possible, and then following on from that, I then started speaking on stages. People started inviting me to come and speak on their stages because I was doing really well with affiliate marketing. They started inviting me and the digital marketing agency. So I started getting invited to start speaking and coaching people on these type of techniques or these type of strategies of what I was using. So, I teamed up with some of the largest digital marketers in the UK that had huge lists, loads of people on their databases. And then what I then started doing was created training and then we'll sell it to their database. So again, that went on and that done really well as well. I mean, that then started getting into the seven figures. And again, I couldn't believe it, just by doing a bit of coaching, and selling by these times, I literally started recording training, recording, doing a presentation, recording it and selling it, and again, it was making even more money than the affiliate market itself. So although I was doing affiliate marketing, I had found a way of teaching it, that was going to make me even more money. So, again, it was a great experience. And then getting the opportunity to speak on stages around the world in front of thousands of people. I've spoken obviously in the UK, but not even just the UK. It's been like Australia, it's been, places like in Mauritius, the US, all around the Caribbean, speaking about some of the things of what I was involved with and coaching and training and obviously doing my upsells was amazing. And no, this is what really, really kind of got me out there. And I'll be forever thankful to the people that's helped me along the way. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, it's all just me. One of the biggest things of what I teach nowadays is making sure that you surround yourself with the right people. When you surround yourself with the right people, then that really is half the battle won because, the right people will give you the right type of opportunities that can really help you to really grow. Yeah. So that's exactly what happened. Hanging about with the right people gave me that opportunity to really, really, really excel with what it was that I was doing. Now I've been doing that for years, speaking all over the world and things like that, which has been fantastic. But then in lockdown, just before lockdown or around the lockdown in 2020, I got a bit fed up. I got a bit disillusioned with the whole seminar industry, to be honest with you. And the reason why was because what I was seeing, from just quite a bit, I was seeing people selling training, but not always providing much mentorship. And I knew that a lot of the people that are buying some of these trainings, they could be quite elderly, they could be retired, they could be really senior of a certain age. And I knew that in order for these people to really make money, they need some mentoring, to be honest with you. If you haven't grown up in the world of social media and all this type of stuff, and now all of a sudden, you're going to make this money, as per what some guru is claiming, you can make all this money, but you're not going to have the real mentoring. Just watch this video and good luck. And I kind of knew that wasn't going to cut it. I really did. So in around about 2020, I then went on and created a mentoring program, which was focused in on mindset, which is very important. Sometimes, you get some of these things out here, and no doubt you've seen these things all online. All you got to do is just, watch this video training and you will make all this money working 10 minutes, every week or something like that. It's a bit gimmicky. It's not real. So I thought, you know what? I'm seeing these people that it could be their last penny, it could be their last pound, and they're like, look, here's my last pound. Are you sure this is going to make money? And people's like, yep, they'll take it. They'll take their last pound, their last £1,000, whatever it may well be. This person could be 90 years old, but they'll still take that money. Yeah. And I was just like, oh man, I don't know how I feel about this. So, creating more mindset stuff and then giving people business coaching and training and accountability is where I kind of had my calling. It's where it's like, well, this is what I believe that I'm really meant to do. I do believe that, I've got that real strong intention to really help as many people as possible to achieve whatever it is that they want in life. I've always kind of held it close to my chest that we've all got one experience of being who we are, one experience of this life. And within that one experience, let's be all we can be. But sometimes we might need a bit of assistance, a bit of help to get there, to become that person, to become all we can be. We need somebody to help bring that out within us. So that's why I then created my brand, Serious About Success. And over, since the beginning, which we launched in around about March 2020, then the lockdown kicked in and thought, oh man, what we're going to do here, but things have, got better and it's grown and we've done really well. And, to the tune of well over 7 figures over the last few years, it's been great. It's been a really good experience because as a part of that, we've been able to help so many people. We've coached well over 1,500 to 2,000 people. We've had, over 500 to 600 people sign up to do some training, within our platform, itself. So it's done really well, to the tune of, like I say, over £2 million over the last few years. So, it's done really, really, really well. I can't complain at all. Now, some of the people that have really gone on to benefit, some of their sort of stories, I had a guy called Paul that, who's still a part of our training now, to be honest. He was in a situation where he really wanted to leave his day job as well. He's just sick to death of just having to live a mediocre life. Found things quite a challenge in that sort of way, and then came to me. He saw me doing some marketing, some advertising, and came to me and said, "Look, Jay, can you really help me with this?" I'm like, "Yep, you can. I can." Paul then went on to, he had some doubts at the very beginning. He's like, "Well, Jay, is this really going to work?" I'm like, "Yeah, Paul, don't worry about it. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right." Paul then went on, shortly after to start doing, £5,000 a month, £10,000 a month, £20,000 a month, and I couldn't believe it, like in terms of, look, really genuinely helping people change their lives to the point of where they're now doing multiple 6 figures every single year. Joy, another one of my students, she's a really young girl, she came to me when she was 22 years old, wanting to leave her day job, so helping her leave her day job within 3 months. And then, she's then gone on to now start doing £10,000 a month, £20,000 in a month, and consistently. She's 23 years old. Do you know what I mean? For me, it was amazing. I had a guy called Queasy. Now Queasy was quite an elderly chap. He was 83, 84. Again, tried so many different online businesses, all these gimmicky things out there. Tried so many. Started doing some work with me. And, again, it was quite a challenge because he wants to make money on the internet, but, some of the skills weren't quite there, but getting him to a point where he was doing about £500 a month. I know it's not that much. He's in his 80s. It's not that much, but I felt very proud about that. So this whole program for me was what I believed was what I was meant to do. This is where I'm really meant to be. And like I say, it's done very, very, very well for other people. And obviously it's something that is growing and growing and growing all the time. And I'm very, very, very proud of it. Like I say, it wasn't always this way. I mean, it's come with a lot of consequences, I would say. Some of my success has come with, consequences or I've had to have choices, some of the things that I don't share that often, but I'm going to go ahead and share it with the whole world right now. And that is that, I don't, have the greatest relationship, if any relationship at all, with certain family members. I remember, in my early days, before I started really achieving much success, I'd stayed with my dad, as I mentioned earlier on in the video, that, my dad was in and out of my life when I was young. But when I was in my late 20s and I found myself in a bit of a situation. and I went to stay with him for a bit. And the fact that I really wanted to do this online business, really, really upset him because, he wanted, all of the time that I was living in his house to be me and him shared together, when I was saying, well, you know what, I've got a bit of work to do. So, I need to do some work and stuff like that. He ended up kicking me out of his house, because I wanted to do a business. And it really upset me at the time. It really genuinely did. But it also gave me a lot of fuel, a lot of fire to just keep going. So throughout life, there's been lots of adversity, loads, but all of that has just been used to just keep going, just keep things moving and just, stay strong and keep it going. Unfortunately, the relationship broke down, and, I don't have a relationship as such. Even with people like my mum, people say, Jay, you don't always talk about your mum. Same sort of thing. I mean, look, growing up, I never really felt nurtured from my mum. I never felt loved. To be honest with you, I never felt like people really wanted me around. As a young child, I never felt that anyone really wanted me in their life, really wanted me around. My mum never really made me feel that way. So as a result of that, again, gives you more fire. I've always found that, you got a choice. We all have our adversity, and, we all have choices in life. And, that adversity, made me, make the decision to go for it. Be all I can be, go for it. And yes, you might have, people trying to get in your way, people saying that you can't do it. My dad kicking me out the house purely because I want to be financially successful, not really getting much support from my mum and stuff like that, not really completely getting me at all, not understanding what I want to do. But instead, I really allow that to really fuel me to really keep on going, regardless of whoever it was, whoever it is. Obviously, it'd be lovely to have all the support, especially from your parents. But if you don't get that, what are you going to do? And, I was never going to make that decision to just curl up into a ball and say, oh, well, they don't believe in me in that way. So as a result of that, I can't do it. No way. It allowed me to really, really, push myself forward. Being around the right people that can give you that encouragement and, really kind of pull you up is vital. I had relationships, again, in the up and coming days, relationships, what you think that's going to work to you? You think you're going to be successful? All of that. So, if anyone's watching this, if you've had similar experiences where, people have kind of doubted you in that way, then, use that as fuel, because that's exactly what allowed me to really kind of keep going. Over the years, not only have I done all of these digital-based businesses, but I also went on to build a multiple seven-figure property portfolio as well. My aim has always been to make money in a cash flow business, like, digital marketing, courses or whatever it may well be, affiliate marketing, products online, make money doing stuff like that. But then what am I going to do with that money? So then putting that into property was something that I've always done and something that I continue to do to this day. So, growing up multiple seven-figure property portfolio, doing, the multiple seven figures in the businesses of what I've run over the years. Like I say, all I wanted to do was leave my day job, speaking all on these stages all around the world, in addition to that, speaking on the BBC radio, BBC radio, they regularly get me on to, be a bit of a consultant when they want like a mentor, when they want somebody to speak, given an insight from a mentor's, a business perspective, a mentor's perspective, they get me on. You can listen to my interviews on my website, Serious About Success. But doing things like that, it's like when I look back and I think to myself, geez, because when you're in it, when you're doing stuff, you're doing business, you're doing this, you're doing it. You don't always take the moment to sit back and look at what you've actually really achieved. We don't always do that. But, when you really, when I look at myself and I really look at that, I'm like, well, yeah, geez, you've done all right, Jay. The boy's done good, but I guess because the message from the very beginning was, you're not really going to be able to do that, even though it's spurred me on, there's still an element where you might look at yourself and it's like, well, have I done good? Who's there to pat me on the back? Yeah, I can pat myself on the back, but, looking at it, you're seeking the approval from your parents ultimately. You know, they're not really there to give me that approval. So sometimes it's like you're thriving for more, you're thriving for more, you're thriving for more because you want that, you know, that gratification. You know, you want that pat on the back, you want it. So you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. You don't always get it, so you keep going, you keep going. Well, that's how it used to be. I mean, whereas now, obviously, you know, it's a bit different, you know, where I can see the success and, you know, want to show a lot of gratitude towards some of the things of what I've been able to achieve, which has been huge for me. Yeah. All right, just give me a minute, Jay. I'm just thinking about the next thing of what I want to say or how I'm going to bring all this type of thing to an end. Spoken about parents, spoken about that, spoken about some of my students, spoken about the businesses I've been involved with, spoken about mentorship, spoken about some of my strategies. Anything else I want to cover? Yeah. I guess over the years, I've had very strong reasons why. You know, why success has been very important to me. You know, starting off with not wanting to let those doubters win. You know, that's been really big. You know, wanting to live, you know, as much of a free life as I possibly can within the society that we live in. That's been a huge why for me. You know, having my daughter. My daughter was born literally exactly 1 year to the day after I was able to leave my day job. You know, that's been a big, strong reason why for me. To be, you know, to be the dad, you know, to be the dad that she can look at and feel proud of. Whereas I didn't always feel that way about my dad, to be honest with you, just to be completely honest. And I wanted to be different to that. I wanted to use the experiences of what I learned from my dad, which was, you know, how to be a better dad, how to be a great dad. So everything my dad would do, say, for example, I want to do something different. I want to do the opposite, so that I can be, you know, the greatest version of myself, my daughter that I can possibly be. You know, so those have been some of my reasons why, you know, over the years. Nowadays, I feel that I'm just at a place now where we've all only got one experience of who we are, and those people that are really desiring more for their life, you know, I feel that some of my reasons why my mission is to help people to really fully understand what it takes, you know, because we don't always understand. We've all got, you know, big desires and big dreams. My aim is to try and help as many people around the world as humanly possible who want success, you know, completely understand what it takes to get there, what it takes, and then give some business direction and strategy and, you know, hold people accountable, because all of these things are so beneficial towards achieving what you want to achieve. So that's the mission now, to help as many people across the world to achieve, you know, to achieve what they desire to achieve. Anyone can get to where it is, wherever it is that they want to be. Anyone, providing you've got a strong enough desire and a strong enough reason why, you know, anyone can make it. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out more videos on our platform.